Welcome. Take it up with Jessica Lee. I'm here with Malery Lassen, who is the Director of Global Partner Marketing from ThoughtSpot. Hi, Malery.
Hi, Jessica.
Welcome to the show.
Thank you.
So, ThoughtSpot is a BI analytics tool company, and we want to learn more about the innovation that's taking place in the space and this partner marketing program that you're launching right now. Very exciting time for you.
Yes, I think so. So ThoughtSpot, in short, it's a company that has a software that's predicated on the idea that more people would use data more effectively if there was the ability to search and if there was the ability to have AI or an AI engine surface insights in your own data that you might not have realized otherwise.
Okay.
So today, the way that we do a lot of the BI and analytics discoveries that we do, it's by coming up with what you need, making dashboards, and then waiting for a data scientist or someone very technical to build that for you.
Okay.
The promise of ThoughtSpot is, how is it that you can enable business end users, much like myself, to go and look for what they're looking to see in their data?
So people who are not very technical can actually find the insights they need to make business decisions.
Exactly.
Nice.
Yeah, no, it's incredible too, and it was something that I could really relate to, actually, in when I was looking into this role in this company, because VMware, which is where I was before, they have a phenomenal analytics team, like a very large team of really incredible people, but in 2 of the 3 jobs that I had at VMware, it wasn't in one of the priority business units, so I never actually got to use those tools. And so even though there was these tools and they had software and they had programs, I actually didn't have the ability to use those, so I was still kind of blind doing a lot of my work. So the idea of ThoughtSpot being able to, oh my gosh, like you could search, it's a Google-like interface.
Oh,
yeah,
very
and
intuitive. Then.
it's intuitive, and then it even is able to show you things that you might not have realized, like, hey, did you know that your store in Nebraska sold more white wine in November than you might have thought, and then you know how you can discount or build sales or do anything else that you need to do.
Okay, excellent. So you must have a lot of customers interested.
Yeah, so we found that our sweet spot's really large organizations with a lot of data and a lot of people.
Okay.
Because it's really kind of solving that last mile of digital transformation is how I kind of think of it. So it's like, how is it that you can actually allow people that need to be able to use all of this, like all of the people at, say, Walmart, who's one of our customers? Like, how is it you can get the procurement manager in the one store in Vermont to be able to find out what she needs to do to price her shelves accordingly?
Right. So that the person who owns that business can optimize and get better results.
Exactly.
Right. Giving the power in the hands of the people in the fields or at the stores to make decisions.
Yeah. And then, another component of it, too, is not only being able to democratize access to this kind of data and the analytics that you have, but it's also the ability to have computing of so much data all at once that you're actually able to see things that sometimes other tools wouldn't allow you to. So, like, for instance, if you're a really, 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 really large company, like let's take a Walmart again, it's just you have so many SKUs that you would need a really powerful tool to be able to crunch these billions upon billions upon billions of rows of data. And that's something that ThoughtSpot can do actually very quickly.
Right, so it's very powerful. It's
very
robust.
Powerful, yeah.
Okay, excellent.
Yeah.
Okay, let's talk about partner marketing. What is the plan and what's the rollout here?
Oh my gosh, good question. So about 9 months ago, we got our channel chief, and he's been setting the strategy and the tone for what it is that we want to do with partners. And since he began, we obviously have a sales team that goes along with that, partner managers, and then I came on about 3.5 months ago now to start the marketing enablement efforts for partners. So what's been really exciting about it is that these companies, it's different than just being a distributor or a VAR or reseller like in a pure software business. A lot of them are regional consultancies that have been in business for 20 some odd years, and they're experts in analytics.
Okay.
And they understand their customers and they understand the industry. And so what the secret sauce is becoming, how is it that you allow them to see the magic of what ThoughtSpot can do? And then how is it you give them the tools, the understanding, and then from my perspective, oftentimes the marketing materials to be able to show their customers that.
Right. So get them to become advocates, evangelists.
Yeah, absolutely. And get them to believe that believe and see, I should say, that their business can be successful because of ThoughtSpot. It's my overarching vision for the next fiscal year that partners truly feel that their customers need ThoughtSpot in order to be successful, in order to really take advantage of all of the things that so many different technology stacks are promising, because it won't just be for a few, it'll be for everyone.
And are these like small firms then?
A lot of them are.
Yeah.
So the partners can kind of come in all different shapes and sizes. So there's some that are really just small shops of 5, 10 people who've started up their own consultancy businesses.
Right.
Then there's others, like when you get to the really big SIs, like we work with Cognizant, Wipro, Infosys, and those are
huge.
Oh my gosh, yes. I don't know, hundreds of thousands probably of people. So they can really range. And then we have technology partnerships too, like you'd probably imagine, which are really doing some cool things, like Snowflake, who's right now the de facto cloud database. We recently announced a joint partnership with them where you can basically have your data in Snowflake, which a lot of companies do, and then use ThoughtSpot to search all of it at once. Or Data Robot, who's another technology partner of ours, and they do a lot of really advanced kind of algorithmic work, and then ThoughtSpot stitches that all together. And then kind of the last tier is the big management consultancies. So we're working with the Accentures, Deloittes, McKinseys, and Bains of the world on how is it that they can work with the folks at the top to see what they can do for all of the business decision makers in their organizations.
So these are the 3 different partner groups.
Exactly, yeah.
So you have to have different marketing, maybe content or the approach to enabling them or educating them?
Yeah, completely. You couldn't have said it better. And there's a couple of different levers to pull, right? So enablement, I think we've talked a little bit about. It's like, how is it that you can get them to understand and to believe? And then there's another element too of it, frankly, where it's how is it you can use your partner ecosystem to be an extended workbench for you and make you seem larger than you are, right? So like the fact that McKinsey's even willing to pick up the phone and talk to us is really incredible. And it's like, how is it that you're able to use somebody like that in a really copacetic way where you're making them look good, but they also want to bring you along and like you can stand in their shadow, but be a giant much bigger than you should be with just being 500 people.
So what is the differences then when you do your marketing to the small consulting firms versus the big SIs, versus the Snowflakes of the world?
Yeah, of course. So let's see. We could start at the top. The funny thing about working with the management consultancies is that you're never really going to be able to do anything for them that can help them. They're kind of always going to be helping you. They have the ear of every big company out there. So what I've found is helpful is we work with a lot of their innovation centers. So like right now, for instance, we're talking with Deloitte's incubation arm where they go out and they look for up-and-coming technologies. And it's about getting those folks to be champions for you and getting them to see like, this is the new way that we think that things are going to be done in the future. Come along, see how it is, and then you can be a little bit of a thought leader to your customers and talking to them about what it is that is the up-and-coming new shiny object.
Very good idea.
Yeah. I mean, those have been fun conversations because, like I mentioned, to see somebody who knows this space so well have their eyes light up it is an exciting prospect. When it comes to the more regional boutique consultancies, they often, I've found, have specialties. So, for instance, we work with folks that talk very specifically to credit card companies, to talk to banks that really specialize in fraud detection. And those conversations for me are exciting because you get to see them think about your product in a different way. Like I'll tell you a fun story, which is that we had one partner run a proof of concept with a company, and they found out in the proof of concept that there were a couple of their employees who were able to rig the system. And they had this rule where if you booked a business travel within 2 days of the trip. You were able to book any ticket regardless of class type. And so there was a couple of employees that were always waiting until the end and booking first class and business class tickets.
Oh.
And it wasn't until they spun up ThoughtSpot in just a proof of concept that they saw that a couple of employees were doing that. So had we not been working with a partner who really specialized in that kind of work, we might not have been able to see that.
Wow, very interesting use cases.
It is. It is. Like sometimes you think, and then it's a way that I wouldn't have ever thought that it could be applied. And so once you get someone with that kind of expertise, that's when it really comes alive. And then lastly, the technology partners. I think those are about like just showing what cool technology is out there, for lack of a better way to say it. Like there's just so much innovation going on, and I think in Silicon Valley you can almost get jaded by it. You drive down 101, it's like, oh my goodness, like I don't know what some of these words mean, and things are moving so quickly, but it's really cool at the end of the day how it impacts end users and how it impacts what we actually eventually can do in our lives. So with technology partners, I think it's about highlighting what it really means to customers.
Okay. Now, it's a challenge when you are a much smaller company with smaller budget resources to try to set up these programs, but also make sure you want to set up in a way where you can scale.
Yeah.
You want to share about the setting up for scale?
Yeah. I think that's a good question. At its core, I think there's a huge need to build the right foundation, which is why I think in this conversation I've talked so much about the enablement efforts and getting the right partners on and getting them to believe in you and be really your partner in crime as you go through this adventure with them. And getting them to believe that they can bet their business on you, because at the end of the day, they need their customers to be successful so they can have a business and they can feed their families. And if ThoughtSpot is able to do that, then they're going to bet with you. I think another element of the scale really comes down to sharing the powerful customer stories that you're able to have together. Because what I always think is that something like ThoughtSpot, if it's not for customers and partners really proving it out, it's just a really cool experiment. It's like an academic science experiment. But it's when you get like the Walmarts of the world who are able to do these really robust differentiation cases that they weren't able to do with anyone else, or you get something like that credit card detection I was talking about earlier. Like that's when you get to see like, oh, this is how it's all coming together. Like in the Wall Street Journal the other day, they wrote about Fannie Mae, who uses ThoughtSpot to show dynamic pricing in the housing market and how that's working with mortgages. It's called The Exchange, and it's publicly available. They bought ThoughtSpot in order to have it be public facing. And so that was something that obviously we just got on all the social media channels that we could, and we talked to our customers about it. Like, look how Fannie Mae, a world-recognized company, is actually using this to not just be better for themselves, but to be better for their customers.
Wow, that's a great story to share.
Yeah, maybe we can link to it. I don't know. We can send it out afterwards.
Okay. Talking about enablement, I guess I just want to bring up, because I know you were at VMware.
Yes.
And we've done a lot of work for VMware, the content creation of product information and putting into bite-sized content for partners to look at and learn, and for even the public to learn. And so, I think that one way that VMware has been able to scale, they have so many products, and yet they're able to scale their marketing and sales through that content marketing effort, educating folks down the funnel. And I just thought maybe that's something that is a lessons learned when it comes to building up the infrastructure, is having that kind of content solution.
Yeah, the right tools, you mean. That's something we're exploring today. I would love hopefully I can come back into this chair in 6 months and tell you, like, Jessica, we figured it all out. We have all the best tools. But right now it's an exploratory effort of how is it you communicate enough without getting people to unsubscribe from you? And how is it that you get the right tools to where things that truly need to be internal only stay internal only, but you're able to lift the curtain a little bit and make sure that partners are able to get all the same love and care that your internal team can. So that's something that we're really exploring. You mentioned VMware, and they have just such an incredible partner ecosystem. And it's been something they've been doing for over 20 years now. So it's one of the reasons why I was so excited for ThoughtSpot. It's like, how is it that you start at the beginning and you build that from the beginning? And tools are certainly a really big part of that.
Right. So you're going to take all of that experience and bring it over and implement it over.
Oh my gosh, that's the dream. That's
Wonderful.
the dream.
Well, they're lucky to have you then with all that expertise. So thank you so much, Malery, for being on the show.
Yeah, you're welcome. Thank you for having me.
There you have it, folks. Take it out with Jessica Lee, Malery Lassen from ThoughtSpot.